Rainy night, rainy night, rainy night. Yeah, rainy night, man. You know, Zilla TV Raw. Back with a mini episode. You can see the backdrop, see the weather out here. You know what I mean? Beautiful weather or ugly weather, depending on how you look at it. Depending on what you into. You feel me? But I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? It's ugly to try to be moving around in, but it's nice to see. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you like nature and shit, like I do. But yeah, man. I know earlier I did a video. I was talking about how Rhea Ripley got mobbed in France, and I don't know if I was clear on what I was saying. That you know they need to travel. Either the company need to provide security, or these wrestlers need to provide and pay for their own security because they can definitely afford it. Or they need to travel with other wrestlers. You know, but no way, no shape, form, or fashion should Rhea Ripley be traveling alone in a foreign country. In no way, shape, form, or fashion should she be catching a fucking Uber. Like, I stand by that, man. They should have sent a professional car service. And the office should be providing security for them, man. Protect your investment, bro. They in a foreign land. You know what I'm saying? You invest in millions of dollars in them. Protect your investment. Like, get these girls some security, man. And it should be available for them if they say, well, I don't feel safe. I want to have, you know what I mean, this person from the office escort me or this person pick me up. And you know, but they could easily, you know, put together some buddy system and some car systems where they put, you know, 3-4 wrestlers together, and you know, when y'all in a foreign place, y'all all go wherever together. You know. And I know on the road that's how a lot of affairs and a lot of the bullshit gets started when you put people, you pay off the guys and girls, but fuck it, man. I mean, it's more about people's safety and more about protecting your investment. I mean, they're adults. You know, whatever happened on the road, that's just what happened. I mean, I know they got mates back home, but you're dealing with someone in the wrestling business. It's a cold game at times. You know, and these people in WWE on the road, 320 days a year, some shit like that. And, you know, it's more important, these people's safety, than worrying about your little insecurities. But, Vince McMahon, Vinnie Mac, he had a secret 80th birthday party, and it wasn't just a party, man. This was like a extravaganza. Like, they say Vince was on the headset directing shit. He was, you know, he had people performing. He had, you know, got them lights, camera, action in the joint. Rented out like some restaurant or some place. And he had a lot of faces from WWE there. And it was basically the people you would expect to be there. But it was some people there that you probably wouldn't expect to be there. And it's a lot of people who claim they don't fuck with Vince, but they fuck with Vince. You know, they was at the party. You know what I mean? They still riding with him. It's a lot of people, and you know, you could be on either side of the fence. But it's a lot of people who feel like they're gonna ride with Vince until, you know, he get found guilty or something, which I understand that. That's loyalty. That's what you need to do. Then you got some people that's gonna just separate themselves from him. And then you got some people that's going to just separate themselves business-wise from him. But they'll still hang out with him in his personal life. And that's what you saw here with the some of the guests or some of the people you seen that was at the party. You know, some of them claim they didn't fuck with him, but they was at the party. And then there's people who, you know what I'm saying, who weren't at the party that you would expect to see there. Like, you didn't see no signs of Triple H, Stephanie, you know, no Nick Khan, no Rock. You know, people that's currently still in the company, like higher ups, weren't really there. But you know the Jerry Lawlers. I don't even think Bruce Pritchard was there. And that's what I mean by people separating themselves from him in the business world. Because you know him and Bruce still friends. But Bruce knew that nobody from TKO was supposed to be at that party. So, you know what I mean? That's why Vince and all them weren't there. But Cena was there. The Miz was there. Like, a lot of people feel like they owe Vince something. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, man, I agree with them. They do owe him something. You know what I mean? And they do owe him some loyalty. You know, he ain't been found guilty of nothing yet. So, you know, you got to ride with him until something get, you know, and once he get found guilty of something, then you can decide if he's somebody you want to be affiliated with or not. Or you can decide if that one incident in his life gonna be your determining factor in if he a good person or not. You know what I mean? His kinks and his fetishes and what he like to do in the bedroom ain't none of your concern. You know what I mean? So like that shouldn't be a factor in you saying you don't want to deal with no one in the long run. But I mean, that's your business, and that's, you know, you can make that decision. But you shouldn't look at nobody no type of way because they don't want to separate themselves from him. I mean, they friends with him. He a father figure to people. You know, he was a person that changed these people's lives and gave them an opportunity. You know, he made it possible for all of them to be stars on TV and to be in the lane they're in. Now, when you talk about a guy like John Cena or The Rock or Stone Cold, guys like that, they done paid their debt to him 10 times over, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, even John Cena. Let me tell you. This John Cena farewell tour, his body broke down, but he been on a part-time schedule, man, for probably the last fucking shit, maybe 10 years. Yeah, he been on a part-time schedule for like the last 10. And people don't really complain about it. You know, he'll come in and out and have a match. You know what I mean? And then sometimes he won't come in. But then, because it was a few years, he just was away from WWE. It looked like he had quietly went on to Hollywood, but then he'd pop back up and have a little run. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, he would come in and put guys over. He started doing that. Like, he'd do whatever they asked him to do. You know what I mean? But I could see people like Cena if it come out that he done something wrong or whatever, they will separate themselves from him. People like Cena and people who trying to have careers in Hollywood and got a bunch of shit to lose, yeah, they gonna separate themselves from him. But they gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and they ain't gonna do so until he get found guilty or something. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that don't feel like he done nothing wrong. And then you gotta understand there's a lot of people that knew the type of shit that he was into, and they just turn a blind eye to the shit. It's probably people that got direct knowledge of some of this shit. You know? But don't nobody want to be implemented in nothing. Just look at the Brock Lesnar shit. He get thrown in it just cause the girl sent him some goddamn photos. Now you got people that don't want him on the television show because he was gonna get some pussy from a young chick, and not even young like that, from a woman. Because they keep trying to say young to tug at your heartstrings to make you think this some young, innocent girl. This chick was in her 30s. So you talking about a grown-ass woman who know what she doing, who playing the game, and is a volunteer, not a victim, and ain't get on no shit until the money dried up. When he ain't make the, when Vince didn't make the payment, now the bitch is crying and, it's this, it's that. She got taken advantage of, and, they shitted on her head and they pissed on her and they took a shower first and all this other bullshit. And it's like, alright, now don't get me wrong, those some wild kinks and some wild fetishes, my guy. They are, but, it ain't none of my business. Don't concern me, you know what I mean? And then the broad don't gotta partake in none of that shit. You know what I mean? And then she signing contracts, you know what I mean, to be this guy's basically plaything. So when she signed up to be Vince's plaything, other guys is included in that. Like, that's for his friends. I mean, it's whatever he wanted to do. So if he say, goddammit, go meet up with Brock Lesnar, my star pupil, because, and he used the chick as a bargaining chip, hey, so be it. I know that's fucked up in a sense that a powerful guy, you know what I mean, he uses power or what have you, but, man, let's keep it real. Most guys with power, that's how they get pussy. If they didn't have power and status, the bitch wouldn't give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? It's like wrestling fans so fickle and so cupcake, man. You know what I mean? As soon as they report something about somebody, and when they had all the speak out shit, even like the other day, a few days ago with Matt Riddle. Yeah, we'll talk about Matt Riddle for a little bit, then we'll get up out of here. Matt Riddle, he went on a little rant, a little tangent, and he said some shit. Some shit made sense, you know what I mean? Some of it was just him rambling, and you could understand where he was coming from. And, because this business sometimes with how you, like, fuck this shit, you know what I mean? You don't want to deal with a lot of the fucking personalities that's involved in this shit, so. And Matt Riddle do got a rep of being a shithead, and, he got a bit of a drug problem and shit. And he needs someone to, like, you need like a handler on the road or what have you, somebody that can, because anytime a brother, and what I mean, I give Matt Riddle his flowers and everything, but you got to tell the truth about the guy. Anytime a dude is signed to the UFC, and what Dana White say he had like 3 fights a year or some shit. Just 3 fights a year, so he only had to be clean off weed 3 times out of the year. And his fights was mad spaced out, and they give you a heads up of when you're going to be taking the piss test for the fight. So he got a really big window to get clean, to get high, to do all this shit. You really, like Dana said, can smoke all the fucking weed you want to and then clean up for the fight, man. And then, like, the day of the goddamn fight, you can get high. You can smoke the day of the fucking fight, man. The piss testing and shit is over with. You could wait till after the fight to celebrate and smoke, or you could actually, if you a smoker like that, you probably gonna want to blow that day to get your nerves and your mind and all that type of shit right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he can't stay off the weed like that. Like, come on, man, did you hear what I said? He only had to fight 3 times a year. The fights was mad spaced out. They give him a window to take the fucking piss test, and they also tell him when he gonna have to take the fucking piss test. So he got a blueprint to know, like, he got it. Come on, man. Like, that's crazy right there. That's basically just saying, you just ain't gonna stop smoking, man. You know what I mean? It's almost like you can't stop. But you know that ain't the case with this dude. I mean, he just don't give a fuck. But why I went to him too was like that speak out shit in wrestling. You know what I mean? Like he said, it was some bullshit. Not saying that ain't a fucked up thing and that some of it won't like, you know, some of it was wild as hell. You know what I mean? That's the best way I put it. But you know, like, look at some of the cats that got aired out in this shit and they'll never wrestle again. The Travis Banks and the Joey Ryans and the fucking Jimmy Havoc and Velveteen Dream and all these dudes. Some of them dudes could have been stars in the business. The Velveteen Dream and maybe Travis Banks in that tag team they had. You know what I mean? The other two guys, Ryan and Havoc, they had been in the game for a long time. They probably went as far as they was going. Well, no, I take that back. With AEW being a thing, Joey Ryan and Jimmy Havoc could have had a place to wrestle. You know, but I wasn't no big fan of Joey Ryan or Jimmy Havoc. But the point I'm talking about these guys is, you know, that speaking out shit came out, and then these dudes just been banished. Like, you know, you seen fucking Jimmy Havoc working at the goddamn Best Buy or some shit. Yeah, a video of him working at Best Buy with a goddamn pot belly. It was him, though. It was definitely him. He didn't stop working out, all types of shit. Not that he had a physique before, but he ain't had that dad bod. Like, you could tell, you know, he didn't go to the gym at all now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he like, fuck it, what for? You know what I mean? You know he ain't gonna never wrestle again. Probably, he can't even wrestle in his country. That shit crazy, man. For some allegations and shit. I don't think with a lot of that shit that nobody got found guilty or nothing. Nobody like went to jail. It's just, you can't wrestle no more. And people just politically, you know, go along. Like, no, this dude got caught up in the speak out shit. I don't want that, you know, putting a black eye on my promotion. So yeah, because Joey Ryan done snuck back on some cards. There's promoters that'll look the other way with shit, man. It's really people like Tommy Dreamer who came out and said, yeah, Ric Flair ain't do nothing wrong. Them bitches is lying. Man, they was partying with the fucking wrestlers. And you know what I'm saying? They was having fun. And Ric Flair used to do that shit all the time. And you know, it is what it is. And then people got mad at him. He lost his little spot in wrestling for a few months, and then he was right back because people knew. You know, you got to ask yourself, what the fuck did he do? Defended his boy? Defended another wrestler? Okay, that's what the fuck people gonna do. And if he legit don't feel like Rick did nothing wrong, he should be able to say that. You know, all this go along to get along shit.